Welcome back to episode 12 of Trade You for the Fruit Punch. We are doing a midweek shorter version today because we've got the World Cup round of 16 starting tomorrow and certainly need to put in our predictions. I have a random thought because we always start with
I
our
thought you
random
said
thoughts.
no random thoughts.
No, but
You
I do
literally
have
said
one, right?
I don't have any random thoughts today.
But then I came up with one, right?
Of course you did.
We'll talk about like the third games of the group stage when we talk World Cup. They were absolutely amazing across the board. But as some of you may know, I bought this 49-inch curved monitor. And it essentially takes up my entire desk. And it's literally like that big. It's huge. And it came in super handy because I was able to put both games on at the same time. And depending on which one was more important, switch the sound between the two. And I gotta tell you, like, I don't know if I can ever watch like TV the regular way again. Now I say that now, obviously, if it's just one game on, I'm gonna watch on the big TV, right? Like tomorrow morning, USA Netherlands, it'll be on the big TV. But if there's ever a time where I need to like really watch World Cup, this thing was amazing. It was insanely amazing. So today, we've got no Eagles news, obviously no Phillies news, no Tottenham news. So today is going to be a 76ers and World Cup episode.
Single game of the Sixers.
Single game of the Sixers, the Cavs. And I actually watched most of it.
We're not ready. We're not ready.
Okay, so where do you want to go? I'm rushing. I'm always rushing.
First of all, I want to talk about your monitor stuff a little bit more. Because what I've been doing here, for the most part, is I have my iPad over there and my computer in front of me. Usually the computer is the more important game. Problem this time is 10 and 2 are I'm always in class. Literally, there is not a day, except for today at 2, when I'm not in class. So I could only have one screen up. It was miserable.
Hold on. Were you watching the game?
Of course I was watching
you were in class.
Of course.
I mean, come on, man.
You know me. I've been doing this for years.
I know, but this is the end of the semester. I need you to focus. Focus on your studies. Watch the game afterward.
And then, so I was talking to some people who watched the last episode of the pod. And they were like, your dad's really funny, but like, we want to hear more of you.
Oh, bullshit.
He talks
You're full of crap.
No, I'm telling you.
Really?
I'm telling you, the people love me.
The people love you.
By the people, I mean my friends who listen to this.
Okay. I don't know what to do with that comment because I feel like it's a biased comment and one
no bias whatsoever. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, they're impartial. They
said, and I quote, it's 90% your dad, 10% you. Now, I'm not sure where they got those numbers from. They feel off to me. But
I feel like it's like the statistics in soccer where they used to before the World Cup, possession, and they would take that time where we weren't sure who had the possession, and I'm assuming they split it. I think your friends
that's true.
Took the conversational part where we're both talking and just gave it to me, and therefore gave me 90% possession. And I don't think there's a 90% possession.
This right now is adding to just you?
I think your friends are looking at this and saying, yes, this is just me. Versus this being in the new style. What is it like?
In contest.
In contest. This is in contest time.
Possession.
And they're giving me full possession for this. And I think that's just wrong. I think they need to reevaluate.
I don't know. I think they're making some excellent points.
Some excellent points.
I think.
Okay,
I think I should be talking more.
I don't really care what you have to say, which is why I talk more. And your internet sucks. And so last episode it wasn't fair because there were periods of time there where you froze and I had to carry the show. Now I've carried the show for all 11 episodes up through now.
No.
Yeah, but
I mean, they also
you can, it's funny because you can define carried any way you like, and I'm defining it as I carried the show in my way.
So they also said that it seems like you overpower me in arguments, and to that I take issue with that because I think I've won most of our arguments on this show.
I would argue that you haven't as well. I think by overpowering, they probably mean I'm louder. And so as a result, they automatically assume I'm right, even though we'll be if I'm objectively looking at this
too.
Well, that's a problem.
That's a problem.
Yeah, I mean, look, if we were to just do this on the side and have our little arguments and then come back and have my snippet, your snippet, I'm going to be honest, and I think you'd probably win the majority of those. Now, by majority, you can read that as 51% or 70%.
No, that's definitely higher than 51.
But I'm just saying, you can read that anyway.
Listen, if we're looking at it objectively, if you're looking at it objectively, you have to say it's probably greater than 65.
Well, I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to give you a number.
No, it's right.
But our conversation before we went on air highlights this point where you asked me to name.
So I asked him
four players from Morocco
because he told me, and I'm going to spoil a little bit of the show because it's context that's necessary for this. He told me before the show that he has Morocco making the semifinal of the World Cup. So I rightfully so, after he said, I just think they're a really good team, I rightfully asked him, so name me 4 players. And of course he goes, well, there's Hakimi, he said Saeed instead of Saiz, but I gave it to him. And then he said the kid from Chelsea. So I also gave him Ziyech. Right? But beyond those 3, then there's a very long pause. I go, you don't know anymore. And then I see him typing away. It's not subtle at all. And he goes, Sofiane Boufal. And I'm like, you looked that up. And he was like, obviously I looked that up.
Right.
He couldn't name 4 players. And then I, being the guy that I am, I was like, you didn't know. And I named, 4 more players?
You did. You did. You know your players better than I do.
Okay,
now you're just showing off, right?
Well, of course I'm just showing off.
I get it, but,
Yeah, it was just, this is what I mean when I say that I just objectively know more ball than you.
So you may, but I research better than you do. And as a result, I can quickly,
because it's all up here.
I don't need research.
It's all up
that's
here.
Where this is the youthful exuberance showing itself, because you do need research. You do need to know how many points Ben Simmons may or may not have had. Although I didn't look that up.
No, I didn't look it up on purpose. Well, he hasn't played because he's got pussy soreness. I mean, a very real leg injury. Yeah, but. And then,
so the other thing,
finally, they made one last suggestion, and this one feels a little off base to me, considering we're hoping our listeners know about sports. But they were like, you should explain the sports before you talk about them. Explain the rules.
Okay, so who are your friends? Were these girls?
Wow, that's misogynistic. Yes. Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. So on the one hand, and hi girls, I'm happy that there are girls that are friendly enough with you that will go through the hell of listening through an hour and 5-minute podcast of you and me talking to one another. So it as a father, I'm proud. But I'm not surprised that was the sample size of people who you were referencing who need to. us to explain the rules of, let's say, soccer or even basketball. And so, ladies, thank you. I appreciate your listenership, but we're not explaining the rules.
We're not explaining rules.
That's not happening.
This podcast.
That's not going to happen. There's an assumption now. What Ari, as a good friend, should do is he should then explain the rules off camera.
Asshole. But I'm an asshole.
No, I think you should do that. I think you should take the time and say, X person, Y person, whatever, like whoever the person is, A person, B person. Thank you for listening. Appreciate your listenership and friendship. What exactly would you like me to explain? The offside rule potentially, or pass interference? Like, I'm happy to explain those things for you. Just let me know what those things are. And so with that, I think we should look. We spent 11 minutes talking about absolutely nothing, which is really what we do every time. And I think
which is what they wanted. They actually said this was their favorite part of the show.
I think this is my favorite part of the show. Right. Well, there's no analysis of any kind. And so today we're going to focus on the Sixers and the World Cup.
No, we're going to gloss over the Sixers. We're not letting you go on a 15-minute rant about the process and James Harden and Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey.
I will say, I kind of wish Joel were hurt longer, and I know I said that last time as well, but the Sixers with Joel are super boring. The Sixers without Joel, even though I haven't watched them, feel like they're super fun to watch, and I would really like to watch them.
I actually watched the sample size of one single game.
Yes, which we watched together, right? So I watched 6 games this week. Between the last episode and this episode, I watched the Sixers Cavs game.
That's big time.
And I like it was that second quarter. I mean, we were kind of close, hanging in there.
But is that the greatest shooting quarter of all time?
I don't actually care if it was or if it wasn't. It's the Cavs. They're not my team. Like, I don't want to give them. I don't like Donovan Mitchell. I don't like this team.
I like them. So from a neutral perspective, I was like, this is kind of nice. But then I was like, oh wait, it's my team, and I had to be like, can we just get out of here? It was so bad. I was with people. I closed the app and stopped watching midway through the third quarter. I was like, this is a 30-point loss.
Yeah, there was no point in continuing to watch this game.
Yeah,
it wasn't even a good, particularly great game from any of the Cavs players. It was just Mitchell wasn't even top scorer, right? Like, this was not a very good game.
I mean, you're saying Darius Garland was. Like, he's very good. Like, let's not pretend like this was some bum who top scored. But
well, it could have been because they didn't play any starters in the fourth quarter.
I think I said preseason that this would still be Garland's team. I think I remember saying that. Now, I'm not sure it's worked out that way, but
if you said it, I said it was going to be Mitchell's team, and it is Mitchell's
I think
team.
You did. And I think you're probably right, but I still see it as Garland's team because he's the guy who was drafted there. And
I
don't know.
Very quickly it becomes somebody else's team. They're both very good. The Cavs are very good, and they didn't even have Kevin Love, right? And
wow, are you doing a 180 on Kevin Love? Are you seeing him for the contributor that he is?
I might be. I might,
wow.
It only took me 2 months to figure it out.
My influence.
So the games that I did watch, though, right? Because there's nothing redeeming about the Sixers game that we need to speak about. The games I did watch, I watched Clippers Blazers, and Norman Powell had himself an amazing fourth quarter. I didn't watch the whole game. Keep in mind, I can't watch the whole game. I'm watching other stuff. I'm doing other stuff. I think I fell asleep for most of that game and then woke up for the fourth quarter. Norman Powell had himself a game. I think Covington, and he had a decent game, is cooked. I think he's done.
They barely even play him most nights.
They don't play him very much, especially when they have the big two.
I'd take him back.
When they're going to have the big two back, he won't play very much. And he hasn't played. John Wall didn't play in that game. That team, like if they get everybody healthy, they might be decent, but they're not going to have enough time to gel. So my prediction for the Clippers this year, I think, is going to be hugely off, but that's okay. I don't like the Blazers either, frankly.
Fuck the Blazers.
I watched them against the Lakers as well and didn't think they were any good. But I did know, like, I can see now why Patrick Beverley is being talked about as a potential trade candidate. I don't think they're going to be able to get rid of that Westbrook contract. I think it's too big. And I'm not so
Westbrook's
sure anybody really wants
good
it.
off the bench.
He has. He's still. Here's what I don't understand is, and this I forget who was actually doing the commentating on the game, the Blazers-Lakers game, but they said something, and I've never been able to put it this way, but it's exactly right. He outruns his shots. And that's really when he outruns his layups. He's so fast, and he's incapable of controlling the layup that the layup comes off strong. And he still does it 15 years into his career, and I don't get it. But I do think his role off the bench is fine. I think Beverly's going to be the one that they trade.
I don't think they'll trade anyone in the end, but
I think they'll trade Beverly.
I'd still take
I also watched.
Just because
I know.
Just give me all of the weirdly good defensive but terrible offensive guards. Just give it to me.
Well, yeah, that's what Patrick
We're not winning
Beverly
anything.
is.
I just want to assemble a team of assholes.
So I watched Dallas Golden State, and I like Golden State is my favorite team to watch. I just love the way they play. I love the way the ball moves. I just love everything about Golden State, and I love Steph. Like, he's not the kind of guy I normally like, but he plays with such a love of the game, and he's so fucking good. And so I really like watching Golden State. Whenever they're on TV, I make a point of trying to watch them.
You're very funny, like, in that way, where, like, you hate all of these kinds of players, but then for some reason, you have to, like, be a hypocrite in everything you do in some capacity. So Steph's, like, your favorite player for no good reason. Like, you are 100% an old head.
I am.
But
I hate the showmanship. I hate
literally no reason.
No, but he's so freaking good. And I went back and watched some video.
What's going on here?
Did I say freaking? He's so fucking good. I'm sorry, my bad.
All right. I just didn't want us censoring ourselves.
No, I'm not. I didn't mean to.
This is an explicit podcast.
Let's right, and we've made that clear in how we upload this, and it's not for children. Like we're very honest and clear about that. The last game I watched, and I watch a lot of it, but I watched part of it, right, was Heat Celtics. And so my comments, like, Heat suck. They really do. They're not. I think they've sucked for 4 years, even when they made the finals. But the Heat suck.
They were good in the bubble, but the bubble was fake. So
the bubble was fake. So Brogdon is my mid-season sixth man of the year. I think Brogdon is a really good pickup. I think, and this is going to be my hot take for the day, I think Jaylen Brown is better than Jason Tatum.
What's going on in the background? Can you, like, yell?
I mean, clearly they don't understand.
And sister and dog to, like, just be a little bit quieter.
Yeah,
maybe just a little bit.
Yeah, clearly they don't understand that we're recording a podcast right now.
Listen, our production value is truly incredible.
It's incredibly horrible. So, but I don't want you to are you glossing over the fact that I just said Jaylen Brown is better than Jason Tatum?
No, I was hoping you would go back to it so that we could talk about it, but I just felt the need to point out the fact that it was very loud in the background.
No, I appreciate that, yeah.
So, I don't agree, but most of the reason why I don't agree is because I now have a Jaylen Brown agenda, because he's a fucking idiot who keeps sticking up for Kyrie. So fuck Jaylen Brown. Jason Tatum, even if he agrees with Kyrie, isn't stupid enough to do it on Twitter. So I will give the edge to Jason Tatum.
That's fair. That's fair.
And also Jaylen Brown has possibly the worst handle in the NBA. Like, it is truly atrocious. It's ugly. It's
effective,
so bad.
though. But it's effective.
It's either effective or he has 18 turnovers. They're in between.
Yeah, I think it's effective. But I don't like... I have a Jason Tatum agenda, clearly.
I do too, but it's just not as big as my
very good. But, yeah, look, I haven't seen if he said anything in the last week or so. You know, it's been quiet on the NBA front the past week, I think, from
because the Kanye front has blown up.
Right. And nobody's attaching themselves to that moron, right?
I mean, do we have to talk about that?
No, I don't want to.
Like, do we have to spend like 2 minutes just talking about how he made a guy who said that water is turning frogs gay and the Sandy Hook shooting didn't happen? Like, he made that guy look like the sane one in the room.
He did. I didn't see it, but your mother mentioned it. Like, he even looked at Kanye at one point.
He kept trying to throw Kanye bones of like, well, you're not a Nazi, right? And then Kanye was like, no, I'm a Nazi. No, I am. I am a Nazi. And I see a lot of good in Hitler. And it was just absurd. Truly absurd.
I did not want to watch it. And on purpose have not watched it. I've gotten snippets here and there. And
it's kind of incredible. I think just from a viewing point of view, like, it's impossible to believe unless you see it. He literally pulled out a toy net and a bottle of Yoo-hoo and said that it was Bibi Netanyahu and talked to a prop net and bottle of Yoo-hoo in a fake voice and said it was Bibi Netanyahu. It is absurd.
I may have to go back and watch it. I don't really want to. Hopefully it's short. Is it long?
I think it's long. But you can find clips of it pretty easily. Like, you can find the important stuff.
Is any of it really that important, though?
If you look up Kanye West and then, like, controversy. Oof, my apologies.
Kanye West, Contro.
So I think and this is the last point I'm going to make on this, I think we as a society should just, like, collectively agree that murdering Kanye West isn't the worst thing in the world. And, like, we should just be allowed to do it. And then, like, we can just listen to his music and be fine with it because he's dead and we know that he can't cause any more controversy. So you don't have to feel bad about listening to his music anymore.
So let me just be very clear. Ari is not condoning murder in any way.
I am if it's Kanye West or Kyrie Irving or
but you're not.
Some other guys who deserve
it. It's poetic license, let's just call it. And he's not condoning or suggesting anybody should go out and do anything.
Partially hyperbole, but partial.
Okay.
It's a solid 50-50.
But here's the thing. Did you have to give a number? Because when I was going to say partial, you can define partial anyway.
It's a 92%
whatever
you want to make of it.
Greater than 50%, closer to 100%. Let's just call it that. All right, let's move on. We've got the World Cup to talk about, and we've spent 25 minutes talking about nothing and the horrible Sixers and a few other things. So, World Cup group stages. Our predictions were in, and the results are in.
You beat me.
I beat you. 11-10.
When the tiebreaker is just painful to me.
And the tiebreaker was kind of Switzerland.
And that hurts me because I really felt like Serbia should have been better than they were. They did not maximize their talent at all.
Yeah, so I do feel like that was a tiebreaker, especially it was the last day, right? But I feel like, I picked Senegal, you picked Ecuador in Group A. Okay. I picked Mexico in Group C. You picked Poland.
I feel like you should give the full thing rather than just calling out a few teams.
Okay, so
that they can get the full picture.
Group A, Netherlands and Senegal went through. I picked them both. You picked Netherlands and Ecuador
instead of
Senegal. Group B, England and the U.S. We both picked them. They both went through. Group C was Argentina and Poland. You picked both.
I got.
And I picked Argentina and Mexico. Group D, France and Australia. And we both picked Denmark to go through, which did not happen.
Which I'm kind of happy about because fuck Højbjerg.
Yeah, I don't have an opinion.
You don't have to comment. Just keep moving on.
Yeah. Japan, Spain went through. We both picked Germany, Spain. And
I'm actually not that surprised Germany got knocked out.
So,
like, I obviously predicted them to go through because you picked the big names. But as soon as I saw that first loss, I thought to myself, they could very easily get out here.
So I'm going to make a comment here. And like, I've never been a Germany fan. Like when Germany won the World Cup in 94 and in 2014, like I was pissed. I fucking hated it. Especially 94. I fucking hated Jurgen Klinsmann. And then he became a Tottenham player and he was like my German, right? He was like my favorite German of all time. And I gotta be like, I'm a little upset because
it didn't feel right.
It doesn't feel right not having Germany in the round of 16.
Oh, that's not my problem.
No, that's my
problem. My problem is that I didn't get the satisfaction because all of the Germans that I know and that I follow on Twitter were like, we knew this was fucking coming. This team sucks. They play Kai Havertz.
He actually scored. Didn't he score twice in that game?
He's actually the reason why Poland went through, isn't he? Or no, that's a different group. What am I saying?
No,
he's the reason why Spain went through.
And Spain, by the way, so that's a point I wanted to make was Spain lost to Japan. They were up 1-0. Japan ended up coming back 2-1. And it felt like Spain was okay with that result. It felt like they knew they were going through. And here's a way to fuck over Germany. And oh, by the way, by them going through and finishing second, they play Morocco as opposed to Croatia. And it was like all of these things combined just made me feel like they were trying but not really trying to win that game or at least draw in that game. Like they were okay losing it because a lot of they like checked a lot about fuck Germany, check. Don't play Croatia, check. Play Morocco, check. Go in the round of 16 limping and rope-a-dope, check. And like all these boxes they checked off.
They killed Japan in the first half. Really killed. And then the second half, it looked like they just switched off, like almost on purpose.
So we're going to get into our round of 16 predictions. But I feel like Spain is actually a lot like they were 4 years ago, where they control the ball. I think they had 83% of the possession against Japan. Now, again, I don't know if it's the new way.
To Japan's 234. Audrey had 204 passes, and the Japanese team had just slightly more than him.
I feel like they don't have a striker. They don't have it's kind of like
Alvaro Morata has been incredible.
No, but they don't.
We're not doing this. We're not doing this. That's not the problem. That's not the problem. The problem is the other two attackers. The other two attackers are Dani Olmo, who's fine at best, and Ferran Torres, who's just terrible.
And so, please, let's go back. It's not Morata. It's the attacking core. I feel like they don't have a strong attacking core. And this is exactly what happened in 2018. I remember distinctly watching them when they went out in the round of 16 or the quarterfinals, whatever it was, and they had all the possession, and they had all the possession up until the 18 and even past the 18, and they just kind of dribbled around and did nothing with the ball.
But
and
that's
it feels like
not
this
what they
team
do
is a
now.
lot like...
Now they just miss chances.
Yeah.
Like, they
it's a little bit better than
lot.
18.
Pedri does a lot in the midfield to create, and they actually, the defense and the midfield, the goalkeeper, Unai Simon, is a little suspect, but the defense and the goalkeeper are actually really sound, or the defense and the midfield, my apologies. It's the attack minus Morata, and the dog agrees with me.
Yes, he does.
But I still see them doing really well, and we'll get into them.
So we'll get into that.
So
the next group is because we're in Group F now. Because we got a little sidetracked. Group F, Morocco and Croatia made it through. We both picked Belgium, and Belgium was probably the biggest disappointment of this World Cup. But not surprisingly, because part of me wanted to believe, you and I have talked about this a lot. Part of me wanted to believe that this was the team that had no expectations, and therefore they were going to win it all. But I really deep down inside knew they were old as shit, and they weren't going to score. They're terrible.
But it was, so you said in the last episode, though, and I'm not quoting, but I'm paraphrasing here. I really hope Lukaku is back by the next game, because I think he'll do a way better job than Michy Batshuayi. And I just want to say that Belgium had an expected goals, so the goals that they were expected to score according to statistics, of over 3, and Romelu Lukaku missed 3, not 1, not even 2, but 3 of the biggest chances I have seen in the World Cup this year.
And if you look at the stats, Belgium had an Lukaku had an XG of 2, around 2, and Croatia had an XG of less than 1. Just Lukaku alone had an XG twice as big as Croatia. And so, look, I actually think they need to blow it up in Belgium. They need to play all kids going forward. I mean, they don't have an option, but I don't think they let an Eden Hazard or even his brother, hang on. I don't think they let De Bruyne hang on. I know that won't happen.
I mean, you're saying
I think you clean house.
36 by the next one anyway.
No, but De Bruyne won't be. Right? De Bruyne's not going to be.
32.
No, he's not.
He's old.
He's not 32 years old.
He's old.
Are we both looking this up?
He's 31.
No, he's not.
He's
31? Oh, boy.
You just look at him and you see a child's face, and you're like, he's forever 28-year-old. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's definitely not. They need to clear. Well, now it makes my point even more sound, which is they need to clean house. No more Toby Alderweireld. No more Jan Vertonghen. No more De Bruyne. No more Hazard.
I don't know if I said this on camera, but I did say any team that is still playing a back line of Toby Alderweireld and Jan Vertonghen is never going to go far.
But get rid of Carrasco. Get rid of Lukaku. Literally, they need to just take a bunch of kids and start playing them now so they're ready for the Euros, and then they're ready for the World Cup in 4 years.
Same for Germany. That's what Germany should be doing as well.
Germany did that. I don't know if you know, Germany went in 2010 or 2006, and they had a plan where they essentially brought up a bunch of kids, and they won the World Cup in 2014 because they were really disappointed. And that's what Belgium need to do. The problem is they don't have the skill level of this current group, but that's okay. That's okay, because this current group could never put it together. And apparently there were a lot of off-field situations where Courtois slept with De Bruyne's girlfriend, and Yeah, all this. I mean, Jan Vertonghen doesn't talk to whomever, and it just the
I
golden
don't believe
generation.
all of them, but I believe some of them.
The golden generation. If you look at it in 20 years, because Belgium's a small country, they'll probably look favorably on this, but I think it was a failure. And so, Group G, Brazil, Switzerland. I picked both because I'm kind of a Swiss homer, and you picked Brazil and Serbia, and that was the difference because in Group H, we both picked. So who went through? Portugal and Korea. We both picked Uruguay, and I picked Korea. You picked Portugal because I have an agenda against Portugal,
So
and you
would have
clearly have an
won by
agenda
more.
against.
You would have won by more if you hadn't been a homer.
So I probably would have picked Portugal, Uruguay as well. If I'm being honest, I wouldn't have picked Korea. But because I have a Portuguese agenda, I thought for sure they weren't going to make it through. So I went 11 for 16. You went 10 for 16. So now we're going to go. This is the way we're doing it. We are picking all the way through to the winner. I had suggested we pick through the semifinals. You said no. So we're picking through the winner.
I didn't want us to have a chance to like re-look at everything. But I do think once they're set, we will also say, I think this team will win, even if we didn't predict them to get there.
Right.
So these are our set predictions, but we will also have predictions according to match.
According to who wins and who, right. So what we're going to do, though, and here's the deal, right? So 1 point for the World Cup round of 16, win, and you get a point. Lose, you get 0. World Cup quarterfinals, 2 points. Semis are worth 4, and the winner gets 8 points. What do we, like, we've got to do something. We've got to bet, right? Like, what are we betting? We don't have to decide that. Well, we almost have to decide that now. Are we betting something? Because I beat you in the first round, but we didn't bet anything, so I get nothing for it.
Yeah.
What are we betting?
I don't know. What are we betting here?
So you're going to be home for a month.
I am.
After finals.
Are you about to get me to do yard work?
No, I mean, well, you still work out for 3 years ago. No, but we'll think about it tonight. We've got to come up with something. I don't want to waste a lot of time on the pod. We've got to think about something tonight. And, at the end of this, we figure out which one of us has to do the other thing. The problem is we're fans of the same teams, right? So it's not like you could tell me, hey, you've got to wear Celtics gear because you fucking hate the Celtics, right? We both are Sixers fans. We're both Phillies fans. We're both Flyers fans, whatever that means. We're both, Union. There's nothing that we're not that we battle over, right? It's not like I'm a Giants fan.
Players.
We do battle over players.
That might be something. You might. Well, I mean, you'll make me do something related to Kyle Kuzma.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but you will make me do something.
Maybe I'll buy the Kuzma caricature sweatshirt, but have you wear it for like a week straight at school.
So I can be dirty?
Well, I don't. Yeah, that's not. Well, okay, let's not spend a lot of time on this. Round of 16, we're going to go in order of games. Saturday, tomorrow morning, Netherlands, U.S. Who you got?
I got the U.S. because I'm a massive homer and a patriot for this tournament only.
I got the U.S. too. I don't think the Netherlands.
Let's go.
We're not going to spend a lot of time on each one.
Really shaky. Yeah.
So Argentina, Australia.
Argentina. Cool.
I picked Argentina as well. France, Poland.
Is that the other game?
That's on Sunday.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, that's a Sunday.
France, Poland. I have France.
Okay.
Poland looked like shit.
They do look like shit. I have France as well. England, Senegal.
You said that like you have a weird take. You dirty dog. I picked England.
So I just want everyone to know before the tournament started, I did pick England to win and I bet on them. But I actually put some money on Senegal to win this game.
Of course I
am picking Senegal. It's not this. No, I feel, there's something about this team. They will outrun the English, and I think they're going to run circles around them. and there's kind of a feel-good story, and there's something about them, and so I'm picking Senegal. Now, keep in mind, Senegal, there's obviously odds. Senegal is a plus 290, and for example, though, Australia is a plus 700. The U.S. is a plus 165. Yeah, Poland plus 475. So Senegal is not a huge underdog, but they are quite a dog. And I'm picking Senegal. Monday's games. Japan, Croatia.
I've got Croatia.
I have.
Oh, boy. Of course you do.
Plus
because you're a contrarian.
No, but they're a plus 140.
You are the definition of the meme that people say on Twitter. I'm just trying to make sure I don't fit in.
That's not true.
No, because you didn't like this Croatia team from the start.
I didn't.
And so at every round, every time you're given a new opportunity, you're just going to pick against them.
Meanwhile, Croatia's going to win the whole thing right now, just because they're trying to make a point of what I'm doing.
So they're thinking about you.
They're thinking about me. I know they are. I'm in their head. What am I, rent-free in their heads or whatever they call that?
Well, no, they're actually winning in spite of you, so they're rent-free in your head.
Maybe. Okay. Morocco, Spain on Tuesday.
Oh, boy, you asshole. Oh, boy, you asshole. So I've got Spain.
I've got Morocco.
Again,
I've spent
couldn't name 4 players.
I have it on my fucking screen.
Yeah,
I think they play
now.
You know what? It doesn't matter that I can't name. I've watched them play, and they are exciting as hell, and they are talented as hell.
More talented and exciting than Spain?
Yeah,
who have probably been the best performers, like in terms of style, this World Cup.
Agree to disagree.
Interesting. Oh,
Morocco.
Interesting.
I've been trying to find like a Puma Morocco hoodie. The shit doesn't exist. Well, I don't want some fake like Etsy brand, like some asshole in like Kentucky.
By the way, did your Ecuador sweatshirt ever come in?
No, I never bought one, which is a good thing. I didn't buy one. But, look, here's the deal, right? And this is definitely not an advertisement. I didn't create an advertisement for today, but I fucking hate Fanatics. Fanatics came up with a stupid Morocco sweatshirt. I refuse to buy that piece of shit. It is Fanatics, no brand. It just has like Morocco written on the front, and then you can put your name on the back with a number. Fuck that. I want a Puma Morocco sweatshirt. If anybody's listening and can find me one, that would be amazing. And then the final game, Portugal, Switzerland. See, I've already filled out yours. I already know your picks. You do realize I'm typing in your picks, and I'm typing them in before you even say them because I know you're picking Portugal. And guess what?
I picked Switzerland.
Really?
I think Portugal have looked like shit, and I think Switzerland they've surprised me in the opposite direction of they've looked better than I thought they would, given the talent.
Real and Bolo
looked good.
I am surprised by that pick. I too am picking Switzerland. So
I know you are.
Of course,
Croatia.
So we have 3 differences, if I'm not mistaken. We have 3 differences in the round of 16. Now we go to the quarterfinals. And here's where it gets tough for me because Argentina, USA. And part of me really wants to pick the US. And part of me feels like if Argentina win this game, and I'm previewing, they're going to win the whole thing. But there's a very good chance that they lose this game. But I'm still picking Argentina because I'm picking this is the year that Messi finally wins it. Not that I love Messi. I was a Ronaldo fan over Messi up until maybe this World Cup. I'm not a huge Messi guy. I'm not a huge Argentina fan. I'm picking them to win the whole thing. I know I'm previewing it, but that's why I'm picking them to win this game. But I really do think the U.S. could win this game.
I agree, but I've picked Argentina as well.
The next game is France-Senegal. Actually, you have France-England.
I have France-England. And I've gone England. I think the France squad is really overrated, and I think both are kind of dysfunctional. And I think England's dysfunction will win out and be less than France's dysfunction, but I actually don't think either team is all that great.
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, France is making the semis, obviously, based on what we're just talking about. Um, I don't love this England team. I don't know why. I feel like they're missing something, and I don't even know what it is. But I'm not
I
feeling
have
them.
them beating France.
You have them beating France. I have Senegal beating them, right? So clearly, like we both think a little differently. We think a little differently here. So the
Your
next
thinking
game
is that, well, because you just like the story, but Senegal haven't looked good. Without Mane, they lack a focal point.
and so I meant to look it up. Is Mane going to play in this game, or we're not sure?
No, he's not at the World Cup.
Oh, I thought they brought him.
He had surgery. No, he's in Germany.
Okay, so he's not there. I still like Senegal. I don't know why. I feel like England are a bit overrated in this tournament, and Gareth Southgate is going to be exposed for the bad coach that he is. As is Berhalter, maybe. I don't think Berhalter's a very good coach.
Berhalter.
Yes. So you have Croatia. I have Japan. What?
Is your Wi-Fi okay?
Yeah, my Wi-Fi is fine. I believe it's yours, my friend.
You're cutting in.
So Japan, I have Japan. You have Croatia against Brazil. I think we both can agree.
We both have Brazil.
Brazil is going to right. So we both have Brazil, and then you have Spain. I have Morocco. We both have Switzerland. So I'm guessing you're probably going with Spain.
I am going with Spain.
And I am actually going, my big upset of this tournament is I'm picking Morocco to make it to the semifinals.
Of course you are. You are the biggest homer of all time. Like, truly, no one does it better than you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So
it's not a compliment, by the way. Let's just get
I will take the compliment, and I will go with it because now we're at the semifinals, and we both have one of the semifinals. We actually both have the same team,
and it's a big one.
Argentina, Brazil, a rematch.
So already said,
wasn't it the Gold Cup?
You have Argentina.
Yes.
The Gold Cup is us, isn't it? You're thinking of the Copa America?
The Copa America. Didn't Argentina beat Brazil last year?
They did.
Okay, so Copa America, Argentina beat Brazil. It's like the first time they've done it in a long time.
And
so I have Argentina. I do. By the way, can I make a point? I think Brazil's second team
is better than most teams' first team. It's crazy. I think
but they can't. Look, Jesus and Martinelli are both.
Oh, shit. I was thriving. Ederson is shit, and I was hoping for an Abubakar goal because he trolled Salah, and I loved that. Did you see? My favorite was when he was getting the red card for taking his shirt off after the goal, and the referee was like laughing with him and shook his hand. That was fun. I liked that.
So, do you know who that referee is?
No, I don't pay attention like you do.
So that referee, and I looked it up, is the only MLS referee in the World Cup.
It's not him.
It is exactly
It's not him.
It is exactly him.
No.
He may very well be the worst referee in the world, and I don't know why he's there. He's horrible. But guess what? So I looked him up. I did a little research. He's been in this country for 21 years. He is an immigrant from the great country of, are you ready for this?
Qatar?
Morocco! He's Moroccan. And he won like the green card lottery when he was 18. He left his family. He came over to the U.S., and he's been here for 21 years. And he is literally the worst referee out of all of the referees in the World Cup by a mile.
And one of them stopped the game in the 84th minute during AFCON. And he's still worse.
He's still worse because you know exactly who I'm talking about.
I know
We've
exactly.
seen him a bunch of times at PPL Park or whatever the fuck they call it now, right?
Subaru.
In Chester, Pennsylvania. Is it Subaru now?
Subaru.
Whatever it is, it's a shitty stadium in a shitty
All
part
right,
of
we're
town.
not doing this again. The union owners!
They had some fucking spare land in Chester and they...
I have to hold you back.
Here I thought this episode would actually be short. And it hasn't been.
Yeah, right.
So, Argentina, Brazil. I've got Argentina. You have Brazil. I have a France-Morocco semifinal. You have an England-Spain. And who do you have going through? I'm surprised. I don't even know.
You don't know? Given how complimentary I've been of this team the entire
So
World
you
Cup,
have Spain.
I have Spain because I think England are still dysfunctional, but their top-end talent will carry them through until they face an actually competent team who play together.
And so I have France going through in that game. And then in the final, so my final is Argentina, France. Yours is Brazil, Spain. I'm going to guess, I'm going to go out on a limb and say you're picking the favorites to win it all.
I am. So my thinking here, I think Spain are going to surprise a lot of people. I think a lot of people thought this squad was really bad when it was just young. But they play like a real team. And that's really important in internationals, that these guys build up chemistry together. Like with Belgium, a lot of the problem was there was a clear chemistry issue. And I think this Spain team, as I said in the last episode, a lot of them play together at club level. They've gotten used to each other. And they're young and they're hungry and they press and they pass. And I think they don't have that top-end talent of a Brazil or what have you to win the whole thing, but I think they surprise a lot of people. And I think they grow over the next 4 years, hopefully bring through some actually competent attackers and not Ferran Torres. And I think they could win it in the next 4 to 8 years.
So I will agree with that statement. I think they can win it in 4 or 8 years. I agree. I don't think they're good enough to make it to the semifinals this time around.
They actually might not be. If they got bounced in this round or the next round, it honestly wouldn't totally surprise me because they are still a very young team and they lack the experience. And so I understand that I am going out on a limb here, right? I'm putting my neck on the line, but
I got to be honest.
Boom or bust.
I picked Morocco to beat Spain. If anybody's going out on the line.
No, but Spain in the final is farther than most people have them.
Did you even pick, likely besides Switzerland, and the odds weren't out yet on Korea, Brazil, and Portugal, Switzerland, so I didn't have those, but I don't think you picked an underdog.
I mean, I would assume Spain would be an underdog in the England-Spain game that I have going.
No, but I understand that. But in the round of 16, you did not pick an underdog other than Switzerland. Here's where I think you're missing a little bit. Well,
that's the thing. Is I think you're trying to be a little different.
No, I think
get it. It's the World Cup, and there are shocks. But I think a lot of the picks that you made are just picks of, well, I want this to happen, or...
You could be right,
like this team.
But I think what I think you're missing,
there will undoubtedly be an upset that neither of us saw coming.
I think I saw them coming. If I'm looking at this screen, I think I saw them coming.
If it's Morocco, fair play. But I think the Croatia one, I don't really see it. I don't think Japan's style of play really goes well against Croatia's.
I don't know enough about Japan's style of play to say whether or not it goes against Croatia. What I do know, though, that's growth. No, I've watched, parts of 3 games. What the fuck do I know about how they really play? I know they've got, a heart and spirit to them. And when their backs are against the wall, they play really well. And guess what? The knockout stage is backs against the wall the whole game. And they seem to come out of halftime. If you're talking about managers who know how to pivot, like their manager apparently knows how to pivot because they come out of halftime completely different. And so fair play to them. What I think you're failing to realize is in the World Cup, there's an element of the 90th to 120th minute, and then there's penalty kicks where it basically is a fucking coin flip. And teams like, I'm not saying Senegal is like a defensive team. I don't think they are. They let up goals. But when you play in the round of 16, those games become less I think the best games we will have seen in this World Cup were the third game in the group stage. Across the board, they were fantastic. And I think it's just downhill from there. And a lot of these games are going to be, well, let me pass it around and wait. And we're in the 97th minute. We don't want to make a mistake. So let's just pass around for 20 minutes to get to penalties. And when you get to penalties, you may as well flip a coin. And that's what's going to happen. And then England could lose to Senegal in penalties because guess what? England suck at penalties. Not because they were the worst team.
But I don't think they get there.
Maybe not.
I think the Senegal team isn't good enough to do that. Like, it's a problem of the players. Right? Like, the USA are underdogs in that Netherlands game. But, like, their players are better than, like, the players of Japan.
Yeah. But do they play as well together?
Who I tell you? Well, the Americans do. The
American
Japanese
backline
play well
does.
together.
Right, the American backline does, but I'm not so sure they're gelling up front.
I'm not sure Senegal are. But, like, the one where I actually think, what I think the biggest upset of this round could be, and I didn't predict it because I don't think it's likely because it's an upset, I think it might be Australia.
No. I get it.
That's the thing. That's exactly, to your point, what you were saying.
Yeah.
There's
Look,
an element
they could hunker down for 120 minutes. Yes.
And this Argentina team has shown they can be vulnerable. Even though I think they're a good team, there's an element of that. And I picked them to win, but there is a chance.
If I'm not mistaken, the 2014, didn't Germany, I think they lost their first game and then won the World Cup. And there's an element of that with Argentina where
they're very well maybe.
They lost that first game. It was the kick in the ass. I'm not going to use the same, back against the wall like I did with Japan, but they were in two must-win games and they won them. And they won them. The first one was a little shaky until the first Messi goal. And then they were comfortable. And the second game that they won, they were pretty comfortable the whole game. Like, you kind of knew they were going to do it.
I agree.
And I feel like that confidence. And here's the difference. Argentina played their starters in game 3. Brazil played their second team. And there's an element to momentum. And I don't know if that was the best move for Brazil, not starting any of those guys that they really are going to – like Richarlison, that guy could play every day if he needed to, right? He'll run through brick walls, and he's got the stamina to be able to play literally today and then play tomorrow.
And he scores some of those chances that they created today, especially at the end.
Yeah, and so I feel like you play him because, look, we may have an agenda. Jesus is garbage.
Yes.
He just is.
He plays like Harry Kane, where he wants to be a defensive midfielder for some odd reason.
And let's be honest, Martinelli
sucks.
He's not great. And I know everybody loves the way he plays for Arsenal, and they're saying he's part of their, rejuvenation, and I don't see it. I'm not such a big fan. That when we watched All or Nothing, he really wasn't playing all those games. It was that other kid that was getting a lot of game time, and then he got hurt, and then they shipped him off. That left back, or wasn't there someone else playing instead of him?
Oh, but he wasn't there.
What do you mean he wasn't there?
We're talking about Martinelli or Jesus?
No, Martinelli.
Martinelli was injured, I think.
He's
injury prone.
Okay, so there you go. So there was something to it though, where he wasn't really playing all that much last year anyway, and I don't know. They should have played some of those starters. They need game time. They need the pressure. Losing, frankly, to what they lose to Senegal
Hey,
today,
Abubakar's Cameroon are good.
Cameroon, like come on.
Well, because Cameroon have a good back line that's stuck together. Like,
And by
I
the way,
really like
Ederson had a lot of saves. Like they had a lot of chances. I mean, it was
Ederson. I still think is shit.
He may be shit, but he had a lot of saves.
He had
he
didn't have that many.
He did.
Whatever. It doesn't matter. We'll move on.
It doesn't matter. Okay, so we've made our predictions. We're at the point in the pod.
Both of us.
Let's
just get that out there right now.
It could be. We're at the point in the pod where we're at the punch of the week, right? And who's going first, you or me?
I mean, I'm on the right-hand side of
on the right-hand side. So your punch of the week is who?
I think the background noise behind you is a special shout for
punch of the week. But that's not the punch of the week. It's a shout, but it's not the punch of the week.
I mean, then it's the Sixers.
So
they've played literally one game since the last time we talked.
Right.
And they got blown the fuck out.
They did. I don't it's the regular season. I'm not ready to make the Sixers my punch of the week. My
punch of the week is a weekly thing. It's not like a indictment of the season.
I know, but it's you know what? If they lose two in a row again, like if they lose two more in a row, maybe my punch of the week goes to Belgium.
We already did that. That's what we did. No, we gave it to them last time. Pick someone new. Pick someone fun.
I'll give it to Germany.
Cool.
I know people. You're saying you're friends in Germany. I didn't realize you had friends in Germany, but good for you. That's great. I'm happy for you.
They know the team sucks. They don't care.
Yeah, but it's Germany. Like it's kind of like when the Dream Team, and I know they weren't the Dream Team, but in 2004 when the U.S. didn't win, gold at the Olympics. It's not to say I expected Germany to win this whole thing. I didn't. But the expectation is that Germany easily make it out of every group stage ever, and they've now not made it out of two in a row. And that's just not – and I get, there's plenty of teams. It's not just – this isn't the European World Cup. It's the World Cup. But, Germany should make it through the group stage, and they didn't. So they get my punch of the week. And with that – and we're over an hour. I thought this would be like a 25-minute episode. Apparently, it's never short. We thank you for listening. And Ari, I thank you for being here.
I hate you. You're the worst.
But I love you very much.
Goodbye.
Thank you.